So for the first few minutes of this painting, you can see that I am really struggling. I had sketched out just like a very, very, very loose sketch of the lion off camera, and now I'm going in with paint. The first little bit is like tricky, and I was all over the board with it. It was so not going well. So please don't leave just yet. It gets better. But I'm definitely struggling at this point. So at this point, I have turned off the camera for a few minutes because it was just distracting me so bad and I was struggling and I just needed to focus. And so I turned off the camera for a few minutes until I got to a place where the lion was starting to look a little bit like a lion. And then I turned the camera back on for you guys, and this is where we are at. So it gets better from here. So at this point, I'm feeling a lot more confident about the lion. It feels like it's in a pretty good place. So I start working on the background and the foreground. And what I was envisioning at this point was a lion sitting in a field of flowers. But as we'll see later in the video, I ended up covering the entire canvas surrounding the lion with flowers instead, but we're not quite there yet. At this point, I realized his mane needed some attention, so I started adding highlights and things like that. I noticed that all my strokes were going pretty much just straight out from the lion's head, and they looked too automated, or they didn't flow. So I added variation in my strokes, and that made a more natural looking effect. Oh my word, this is so awkward. Well, thank you guys for joining, and I hope you enjoyed watching this process. Let me know in the comments what type of videos you like. Do you like longer process videos? Do you like super sped up videos? Do you like vlogs? What do you guys want to see from me? And also, while you're at it, like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes, and thanks again for joining.